Hello everyone, JRDeal96 here with a brand new reaction. As you can tell by the title, it's another Ethan Nestor video, and it's AI related. Oh boy. And the title alone it pretty much sums up how I feel about it. It wasn't that long ago, I think it was last week at the time of recording this on the 19th, they revealed this software for AI software called Sora, which generates video of like made by AI, and it's so convincing. It's so like I just feel like this is a bad thing because people can use that to as armory, and they can use that to put a negative spin on people. I feel like politicians could take advantage of it, and shit like that. People are gonna believe it, and that's just gonna be unfortunate. And I feel like something needs to be done to restrict that kind of stuff, because it's gonna get to the point where it's gonna lead to something bad. And I don't want to go into detail on that, but you kind of get the idea. So I don't know if this is what Ethan is talking about here, if this is about Sora, or if it's about something else entirely. But I think it might be Sora, so who knows. But anyways, let's just get right into this, chaos, and see what he's talking about. So without further ado, let's react to this video, shall we?
AI is becoming part of our world, whether we like it or not. It's been around in various forms for a long time, but now the takeover of AI seems to be inevitable. Just in these past few years, there's been a lot of work being done on AI, whether it's with art, whether it's with mimicking people's voices and faces, or whether it's just basic stuff like assistance on your phone like Siri and stuff like that. But as we continue into the 2020s, there has been more and more AI that has been coming out, and that's been kind of taking over in a sense, and I wanted to talk about it a little bit today. Overall, I'll make sort of a blanket statement that I don't like AI. There are some things that include AI that I do like, I guess. Like I said, personal assistants like Siri,
That's
Alexa.
tame.
Being able to say like, hey, play this song, or hey, what's the weather, or hey, look this thing up. It's convenient, it's nice, it is a luxury
Helpful.
of the modern age. But where AI starts to cross the line, for me, specifically, is with art. At first glance, when you're just goofing around with it, it can be kind of fun being like, okay, I typed this thing into the computer, it spits out an image. And a while ago, it was harmless because you could very easily tell the difference between real art or a real photograph of somebody and AI-based things. One of the first examples of that sort of like beginner art AI that I think of was a website called Pix2Pix, if you guys remember that. I think I might have even done a video on it. I did, 6 years ago. This was the program. You would draw something in the box over on the left. It would spit out a realistic image on the right using AI. And as you can see, the results were not believable if you were to say that this was
I might want to check that out.
or like, this is some art that I made. It's like, okay, this very obviously looks AI generated. All of the textures are all over the place, so you can see that it's taking things.
There was another website I
place,
remember Mark did a video on too.
Opinion, at least, to tell that this is AI generated art. It was harmless, basically, and it was just like, oh, this is a fun little thing, okay. But now, as the years have gone by, specifically the AI generated art programs have gotten so much better. Back in 2021, OpenAI released DALL-E. They're currently working on DALL-E 2. Another program
I think that was
a lot of
it.
people have used as well is called Midjourney. All you do is you type in a certain thing. You would type in 3D render of a cute tropical fish in an aquarium on a dark blue background, digital art. It spits out something like this. This you can kind of still tell a little bit that it is AI. But the stuff that kind of like freaks me out, honestly, is the actual, like, okay, this looks like art. Like this kind of thing. A Van Gogh style painting of an American football player. Not only can you say, okay, like here an oil painting, you can say these are the specific like attributes that I want this to have. This is a sketch, hand-drawn sketch. But you can even mimic specific artist styles, which I think is really kind of weird. And again, these programs have just gotten better and better and better. Like this monkey.
Yeah.
That, like this this looks real. All of the lighting and the reflections, you can even see, like, in the eyes, the light source is coming from over here. You can see the highlights, but it's really, really, really well done. I think that if you're using it for personal reasons, I don't really know what I would define as personal reasons, where it starts to draw the line is like it's getting so good that we are having a hard time differentiating.
Yeah, it's gonna get to the point where it's gonna be hard to tell the difference.
And real art created by real people. And this is going to be
the Markiplier picture.
Huge problem. I think that this is specifically going to be a huge problem for artists who do concept art or storyboard artists, anybody like that, because from a big company standpoint, why would I pay this person a salary to create conceptual things for me when I can just type in what I want into something like Dolly or Midjourney or whatever, and it'll give me basically concept art for basically free in seconds, not even minutes, in seconds. So that's something that I get really scared about.
Yeah,
is people
it's going to cause a lot of people who do artwork to go to not get a job anymore.
In the entertainment industry, while not all of those have been because of like AI and stuff like that, but I think that companies are going to start laying people off and getting rid of certain positions because it's like, okay, AI can just do this faster and better than you can. And it's very, very scary. A little sidetrack from like art as in like paintings, drawings, stuff like that. We saw in these last months in Hollywood with the writer's strike, a large part of that was
AI.
Because of AI as well. Writers are worried that producers are just going to go to something like ChatGPT, give it a basic outline of what they want, and then they can get sort of like a basic pilot script. Like you can use ChatGPT in that way. Write me a pilot script about a boy who wants to be a horse. Title: Hoof Dreams.
Oh my god.
It's giving me a whole thing. And while what it's writing is probably not perfect, it's something that people can work off of without paying actual writers. I've decided I want to be a horse. A horse? That's a unique dream, son. I'm serious. Horses are strong, fast, and free. That's not true. In a video with me slamming AI, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I shouldn't be going on ChatGPT and being like, wow, this is entertaining. It sucks. Shut ChatGPT, I don't like you. I believe we talked about this on the episode that we did with Aaron Hansen on the Brain Leak podcast. Give it a listen.
Okay.
A description. Go listen to the podcast. Me and Sean do it every Wednesday. I think we talked about it there. If not, I talked to Aaron about this a different time where Aaron, one, just like doesn't like AI generated art, but specifically he is an artist, and he's talked about how some people like AI tech bros are like slamming people on Twitter when it's like, oh, this piece of art that I like, this is really cool, I like that a lot, and then somebody swings around and is like, actually that was made by AI, haha, I got you. And then they're like, oh, well, I don't like this thing anymore. And it's like, well, how can you say that? You just said that you like the thing, but now that you learned that it's made by AI, you just don't like it anymore? That does make sense. And Aaron has made a very good argument in saying that it's not necessarily the art itself, it's that with art, it's fair to have the preference of, I want it to be made by a real person.
Yeah.
I wholeheartly agree with Aaron on that.
I absolutely agree with that.
It's so valid to be
you
like,
want
oh,
it to be
I
authentically made by a human being, an actual human being.
I think if something is made by AI, then there's just like no soul in it.
It's soulless. You know, when you see AI generate stuff, it's soulless.
Inherently kind of takes the meaning out.
It takes away everything, kind of all the human aspect of the shit.
Imagine that somebody gave you a meal. They sat you down, handed you a meal, and that person was like, hey, I spent all evening cooking you this meal. I made this whole thing. What if instead they just gave it to you and they're like, yeah, I just microwaved this real quick? Like, this is kind of a weird and a little bit of a stretch of an analogy, but I think maybe you get what I'm saying, where, you know, somebody took their time and effort into creating something to give to someone, i.e. the person viewing the art, and it's inherently less meaningful if it's just kind of spat out by something else. That's what I think, at least. Beyond scripts and stuff in Hollywood, there's also been a lot of scary things, particularly with acting, and also just AI mimicking people in general.
Oh, yeah.
You know, there's all of the fake, like, AI voice stuff where it's like, oh, XYZ person is doing a cover of this song.
Yeah, I've seen that a lot.
At first, like, wow, we can just have an AI scrub through somebody's
Voice.
videos or all of their back catalog of movies and stuff, and just use that voice
As
and
a
train
base.
itself to learn that voice and give us a thing that person actually didn't do. They've been all over the place recently with like SpongeBob and Peter Griffin. Schlatt made a really good video on it a little bit ago about talking about AI song covers, and then he did an actual cover because there was an AI cover of My Way of Schlatt, and then he went ahead and actually did a real cover of My Way that wasn't AI. It's funny, but also just a little unsettling. Not only because the person doing the cover isn't actually doing it, but also like beyond covers, you can just have an AI basically say whatever you want with another person's voice, and that obviously can be very damaging. And the same thing happens with deepfakes as well.
Deepfake too
are getting better and better every single day.
Yep.
There have been certain deepfakes that people have done that have gone super viral over the internet because people thought that it was a real person doing it, when in reality it was just
like they
a
even
body
did
double,
deep
and they
fakes
deepfaked
of,
another
you
person's
know,
face on it.
things.
Let's talk about your cable ace award.
Let's talk about buttered sausage. Talk about buttered sausage, where it comes from, what it does, why is it doing what it's doing, get it out of my face.
Porter made this deep fake, and now this is 4 years ago, so it looks a little bit
Rough.
It looks a little bit dated, but it's still like pretty good. And obviously this is 4 years ago, so imagine what they could do
Now,
with
these
deep
days.
fakes. So it looks a little janky, but you know, watching this on Twitter on your phone, like it could very easily be believable and be like, oh shit, that's Keanu Reeves, he's stopping a robbery. So we talked about AI art real quick.
Yeah, there it is, Sora. There it is. Sora.
Fakes. This came up on my Twitter today, and then Justin, the lovely editor of the channel, Justin, give yourself a round of applause. Justin actually inspired me to make this video because he was like, you should talk about this new thing from OpenAI called Sora. Sora is an AI model that can create
realistic and imaginative scenes from text instructions.
This is getting bleak. All videos on this page were generated directly by Sora without modification. So again, like
that is like, AI generated.
Weird.
That is
but
just
the fact
eerie.
That this is all AI generated.
I could tell slightly based on how she's walking. She's kind of like sliding.
Horrifying. The prompt here was just a stylish woman walks down a Tokyo street filled with warm, glowing neon
and animated city signage.
The fact that it can make something like this with just text instructions completely from scratch, like this, goddamn dude, that's AI.
This is not legit. You would think if you didn't know that, you would have thought that this was legit.
At the same time,
you would thought that this was stock footage that you would find on like, you know, Pond 5 or whatever the fuck.
Even with
mammoths.
Stuff like this.
Hey, great.
Dude, this in particular scares me obviously for editors, for VFX artists, crazy for VFX artists.
Oh, of course.
This looks so good. And not only just like general crew who work on film sets, but also actors as well. Other than movies and TV, especially with actors who aren't like A-list celebrities and stuff, a lot of actors get work through commercial work. This kind of looking stuff, this looks like an ad. Like, this looks like a weird AT&T ad. The way that it's lit.
Why
AT&T? The way that things look, it has like a very digital, very clean look. This is so scary. Like, this could be like a fashion ad or like a perfume ad or something. And so the fact that it's like, man,
or stock footage you'd find on a website
of the entertainment industry, of the film industry, could be completely taken over by AI if they wanted to. Just like with DALL-E, just like ChatGPT, like I was saying with the script. Why would you pay an entire production crew and
it's gonna get to that point. You know that's gonna get to that point, and that whole strike would have been pointless.
Actors
all for nothing because they will end up doing it.
Everything. Why would you pay for that as a big studio rather than
while the big executives of those movie companies make billions?
Like, it's so scary, dude. It's so scary. And these big corporations are absolutely going to do that. Because
you know they are, because they're fucking dumbasses.
Why would they go through...
Like, look at this.
Like, this is fucked.
Like, what the fuck?
This is so fucked. This looks like a person.
This looks legitimate.
Ah, God, that's so scary, dude.
This is terrifying.
Like this, I know that this is only... 10, 15 seconds long, something like that. getting all of these shots like this, if you were to do it for real, if you were to do it practically,
On a,
especially
like
this looks like, obviously it's AI generated, so it's not a real thing, but this looks like it would be shot on like this in the salt flats or something like that. If you were to do this for real and to do this at this caliber, this would cost tens of, if
millions of
not
dollars.
thousands of dollars between
Costumes,
filming, actors,
sets, props,
editing, all that
lighting,
shit. So the fact
etc.
oh man, dude, that's so scary. How?
What the
Landscape
hell?
stuff. Oh my god. I've just thought about this. Stock footage is fucked.
Yeah!
So
I was just
many
gonna
people
say, stock
that
footage
shoot
is
things
fucked.
And then sell them to stock.
You know, where you get all
Footage or
stock
stock
footage to
image
use
websites,
for, like,
so many
YouTube
commercials,
ads
so
or
many
whatever?
movies, so much
That is
video
going to be
has
screwed because
stock
now
footage.
people are going to be
It's
using this
like, okay,
to just
we have
be
this scene
lazy.
in a city
We're
downtown,
just
we need to get
becoming
an aerial
lazy.
shot. A lot of the times they won't go and actually like get the shot. They'll just use stock
They will
footage and
use
get the rights
a
for it. So
AI
the fact that
generated
now it's
shit.
Like, oh, we don't need the stock footage. We could just have AI do it. That is horrifying.
Yes.
That is so scary.
What the
Animation
fuck?
Studios. Why pay millions of dollars
To
for
Pixar or
animators to
DreamWorks
make
or,
a
you
film
know,
when you could just
Sony
have AI make a
or
fucking
Illumination
movie, especially for like little kids
movies?
stuff. You could do the whole thing with AI.
Yeah, you
say,
could
"Can
create an
you
entire fucking
make
movie
me
with
a
AI.
children's, movie script about
Movie
this little
Pixar
monster
film. You could just do a
whose
Pixar
parents
film
live
in
on
like
a
2
birthday."
seconds
And
with
then you can
AI.
Just animate the whole thing for free, and then you can have AI voice stuff. You could probably have it fucking create a voice. If it can mimic different celebrities, what's stopping it from just making a new voice? Or they can just say, hey, Cameron Diaz, we want the rights to your voice for this movie. You don't actually
Didn't
have to do
James Earl
anything, you
Jones
have
do
AI
this
do it.
recently where they signed
and
it?
we'll
He signed
pay
an
for the
agreement
background. It's
with
so bleak.
Disney
And again,
so that they
it's
could use
like,
his voice for Darth Vader.
this just looks like a bird. Oh my god, dude. This is
Oh my
horrifying.
God.
Look at the way that the feathers are moving when it's breathing. The like micro jitters in its eyes with the light. Like it looks so real. I would like to think that people would use this stuff for good. But humans are,
Pieces of shit.
shitty. People could use this for very nefarious purposes. People could just write up a prompt of somebody saying something really bad. People could do
Yep.
AI generated porn. Like,
Oh
there's
my
so-
God. Believe me,
there's
it's gonna
so
get
much
bad,
shit that can go
and
wrong.
no one is gonna do anything about it.
So
They're
real
just gonna let it happen.
is
What? Where's the
Let's read the
outrage?
safety thing.
Where the
real
hell's the
quick.
outrage?
We're taking several important safety steps ahead of making Sora available on OpenAI's products. We're working with red teamers, domain experts in areas like misinformation, hateful content, and bias, who will be adversarially testing the model. We'll also
No,
be
you
building
won't.
tools to help detect misleading content, such as detection classifier that can tell when a video was generated by Sora. We can include C2PA metadata in the future if we deploy the model in an OpenAI product. That's good
Bullshit.
that you can go back and say like, oh, actually this was generated by AI. A lot of times at that point it would be too late. Imagine if
Yeah,
somebody
it's gonna get to the
made
point where it's too late.
a video with AI of me beating the shit out of an old woman on the street, and it looks real. It goes out, it goes viral on Twitter, blah 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 blah, and then they come out and say, "Oh, actually, this was AI generated." That's great that they can say, "Actually, this is AI generated. We have the metadata and the blah 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 and the blah blah blah." But at that point, I feel like a lot of the damage would already be done.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
scary. It's just scary. We plan to include C2PA metadata in the future if we deploy the model in an OpenAI product. I'm not familiar with what that is. C2PA
It's
is
an
an
open technical standard
that
to
allows
allow publishers,
and
companies,
others to embed metadata in the media for verifying its origin
Meta,
and related information.
like
C2PA
Facebook.
isn't just for AI images. The same standard is also being adopted by camera manufacturers, news organizations, and others to certify the source and history of media content. If it's in the metadata, cool, but also what's stopping somebody from taking that video and just screen recording it and then putting it up? The C2PA data wouldn't be in the metadata of the screen recording. I assume, at least. I'm pretty sure that's how that works. To show you the ways that people are getting around it, here is one example. here's a douchey photo of me shirtless that I took. So Photoshop has a new beta that has a bunch of AI.
Of course, I saw that on
features, a lot of
Facebook.
them being
No, I mean, I
generated
saw that
different
whenever I
images.
use Photoshop. I see
And there are times that
with
it is
AI, I'm
actually
like, no.
really useful. A lot of the times, I will use it for stuff in the background. But what I want to show you is that it's supposed to detect if somebody in the photo is naked, and if you're trying to expand on that using AI, it won't let you. So in this case, we are going to uncrop, and we're just going to press generate.
Oh my. Oh my god. What is that?
The fuck? So a lot of the times if you ask it to do a generative fill and there's skin involved, like here, it won't actually do it because it doesn't want to make something naked.
Oh my god.
Well, now it's doing it, which is cool when I want to make a point. So let's take this for example. There are a lot of useful stuff with the generative fill, because basically what you can do is you select a thing, you do generative fill, and then you type what you want to generate. Maybe something like this will work a little bit better. It's something that's actually kind of a little bit trickier to paint out if I wanted to get rid of this stuff. And it's hit or miss. Sometimes it works well, sometimes it doesn't.
Huh.
It's okay. That's fine and believable. If we wanted to do something a little bit more drastic here,
This must
we
be an
could take
upcoming
this whole
video
thing
then,
and just
based
type
on
in wooden
what's happening here,
tabletop.
because I don't remember
Let's see
this.
what it gives there. And not only will it do different objects,
Or
and
maybe a
materials
video
and
that he already
textures and
did.
stuff, but also
I don't
it
know.
will
It could be
expand,
the
I don't know
Thanksgiving
if it'll
video,
do
if
it
I'm
here,
not
but it'll
mistaken.
expand upon my body. It'll imitate my skin texture, stuff like that. It'll do a really shitty job with hands. It'll do stuff like this. It's a bit janky. Again, it's
Still new, I guess.
beta. We can just kind of use this to like add in whatever we want. Okay, you got a little glass of wine. It does the shadows and stuff. I asked it to make an art piece to put above here, and it made it like this one. Add in a fork and stuff. You can just add a bunch of crazy shit. And at the end of the day, it's kind of cool. But
It's
it also kinda
cool.
takes the fun out of making shit in Photoshop.
Yeah,
if I'm
it just
honest.
removes
Again,
all the
It
fun.
kinda takes the heart out of it. If we went to ChatGPT, we were like, give me an idea for an interesting thumbnail for a YouTube
video about
cooking. Let's see what happens when we do this. Let's take every prompt
from that.
Okay, we'll do that. All right. It's a little bit janky, but this
Oh
was
my
all
god.
made via
You
AI.
could tell the AI is
ChatGPT
shit
created
with the
idea for the
fingernails.
background, main image, and added in a chef's hand text overlay. And honestly, like, this is a pretty good thumbnail. Anyway, I'm not really sure what my point is with this part of the video with the Photoshop thing in particular, but it's scary, dude. AI's taken over a little
Yeah.
bit. I think it's becoming
dangerous. It's becoming a problem.
Becoming harmful, and I think that it's going to
Become
continue
harmful.
to get more harmful.
Bad.
It's going to take away jobs. It's going to
Yeah.
crush creativity. And
it's just
I
gonna
think in many ways
create
it's gonna
laziness with people.
it's gonna make people less motivated to follow what they want to do, because it's like,
I could just do AI, and I could just create.
Even with something like this, I would love to be a thumbnail designer for YouTubers. What's the point? They're just gonna use AI to make their thumbnail, or they're just gonna use ChatGPT to write a script for
For
this
video,
or
or
we're not gonna
movie,
shoot
or
stuff to
TV
put on
show,
stock
whatever.
footage websites, because they'll just use
Or
AI
now they can
to
use
make
shit
that.
for stock
I'm not even gonna
footage.
try and become a cameraman anymore, because they're just using Sora to make commercials now. I don't even want to become a singer, because they'll just fucking use AI voices to create new songs. God, we didn't even dive into AI influencers. Oh god, that's its own can of worms. If you'd like to see me dive into that a little more, let me know, and maybe I can go down that fucked rabbit hole. Anyway, this was a little bit different of a video than I would normally make, but I thought it would be fun to just sit down and talk about this, give you my thoughts. Please give me your thoughts in the comments. If you stuck around this far, maybe toss a like my way. Wow, I love a like.
Wow.
Don't you love a like? I love a like. AI's taking over the world.
Yep.
We're all fucked.
Yep, we are. We're fucked. And it's going to get worse and worse and worse to the point it's going to be so damaging that it's going to be irreversible. Like, and they can claim, oh, we'll implement a metadata thing that will easily detect if it's AI generated or not. They're probably going to, they're going to probably incorporate, yeah, it's an old video. Yeah, I was just going to say, I don't remember, see, that might be a new video. But now when I'm looking at it, yes, that's from an older video. It was from the Thanksgiving, because I saw the turkey. I was like, yeah, that's the Thanksgiving video. I have yet to watch that, so that might be a future video at some point. Well, I think at this point it's kind of pointless now. But again, it's gonna get to that bad point with AI. Like, and Ethan even brought this up with the whole thing with stock footage. There's all those websites like Pond5 and Vidivo, whatever. Like, put websites that have stock footage to use, like for example, like, let's look at like YouTube ads, the YouTube sponsorships, with like, for example, like people who do like 5-point vids did Manscaped ones, and he would use, for some reason, women in thong bikinis running on the beach, just stock footage of that. Somebody will be probably lazy enough to not actually film that if they wanted to actually film more new footage of that, and they could easily just put a prompt in AI Sora and go, give me this, and it will create that. That is just terrifying, and it's just gonna make these human beings that don't even fucking exist. It's just bad, man, and I feel like it's gonna get weaponized for people to, like, it's for what Ethan mentioned. Like, if like someone creates an AI video of him beating up an old woman, like, people are probably gonna still be like, no, I don't believe it was AI. That's got to be legit, like, that's how terrified I am about this, because people are gonna use this to try to go after people and try to put a negative spin on people. I'm pretty sure politicians will probably do something stupid like that. Like, I don't know. But this is bad. And I don't care if it's good. It's bullshit. And all I see is this is going to open up the floodgates for everyone to stop, being actually good at actually doing things. And it's just going to make everybody lazy. It's going to make everyone lazy and less motivated to actually do the shit, film the shit, create the artwork, the storyboard, create the script for it, for anything. Because then they'll be like, oh, I could just go to AI and have AI create it. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if somebody makes an entire movie, like an animated movie, with AI, video. I would not be surprised. And it's just going to get to that point. That whole bullshit that happened with the writer's strike and the actor's strike was with AI. And yet they still, signed a deal with AI. Completely saying, and it was a complete FU to the whole deal that they just made. That's how fucked up this is. Like, deep fakes, and, stuff like Siri or Google or, Alexa, that is harmless. That shit is harmless. That stuff is harmless. But this, with the art and now video, it's going to be bad. It's going to get to the point where it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. It's going to get to that point where it's just going to create this huge uproar. It's going to be too late. And I am saying something needs to be implemented now. Right? Now. To tell people to put a limitation on this, because people are going to weaponize it. They're going to weaponize this and use it as, like, fake news. It's going to get to that point. And I know no one will do anything. Nobody's going to do a fucking thing. And I'm surprised there's no outrage right now. And there should be outrage. I'm terrified. I am terrified about this. I don't know if you are. I'm pretty sure you guys are feel the same way as me, but to me, this is just bad. This whole thing with Sora, it's become so convincing. Like, it's not as, like, janky like that one video of Will Smith eating spaghetti. That was obviously pretty rough, and it was pretty obvious it was AI generated, but now seeing the footage that they have now, like the one with the, the lady walking in the streets in the leather jacket, like, and then the people walking in what looked like the salty, salt land areas, like, it looked like a scene out of freaking Interstellar. Like, that looked pretty fucking convincing. This is terrifying, and stock footage is fucked. People are fucked. Like, storyboard artists, concept artists, writers, they're fucked. They're complete stock footage people. They're all fucked because people are going to become so fucking lazy that they're going to be like, let me just get an AI prompt to create what I want. Like, you can't. This can't be fucking happening. This shouldn't be happening. Why is this a thing? Why is some dumb fucking douchebag going, let me create an open AI software that creates generated videos? Pretty convincing ones. Seriously, what is wrong with you? What is the matter with people? Why is people so fucking fascinated with this shit? Have they not watched movies like Terminator? Come on. Because I feel like that's where we're going. But no, we're fucking dumbasses, and we gotta be this stupid. We're this fucking stupid. We're gonna become more lazier and more laid back, sitting behind a fucking computer, phone screens, or whatever the fuck. We're gonna be this fucking lazy. We're gonna get a fucking AI prompt to do our fucking dirty work. It's gonna get to that point. And I'm not looking forward to that. And something needs to be done. But I know nobody will fucking do a fucking thing until it becomes too fucking damaging for somebody. This needs to fucking stop. Something needs to be, implemented. Restrictions need to be implemented now. Not next year when when people's careers are probably gotten damaged because some people were too convinced about an AI video. Do it now before it becomes a fucking problem. You got that? Hopefully you listen to me, but I know you won't because you're fucking too busy about implementing new laws about something else. Or you're more focused on something else. But anyways, enough of my tangent. You could tell how passionate I feel about this. This is a bad thing. Like, imagine if I decided, you know what? I don't feel motivated to write a script about another ego product video. I could just go into AI, ChatGPT, and just create a script for a video, for an ego video. And I don't want to fucking do that. I don't want to do that. I write my own shit. I write my scripts. I, write the scripts and I have it all in my brain. That's where it is. Not on a fucking AI computer site. I don't allow that shit. Like, that is just asinine. And that's like taking the cowardly way out. That's just, that you're just going the cheap route. You're going the lazy route. That's all it is. I'm not looking forward to it. Anyways, enough rambling. We may check out that one other video that Ethan was referring to earlier, the Pix to Pix one. We could check that out. And that was from a different era of his. That's when he had the blue hair and everything. We could check that out, maybe. But also Mark, we got to still finish up his Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted 2 series. And, also the 3 Scary Games 103. But here's another thing that happened recently with Mark. I'm surprised he hasn't even mentioned this at all. But on Saturday, the February 17th, I guess somebody who was going through looking up The Edge of Sleep, because he filmed, if you guys remember, if you've been living under a rock, because I think at this point, most people have probably forgotten about this. years ago, Mark filmed a project in Canada, and he filmed a live-action version of that audio drama that he's a part of called Edge of Sleep, where he's the character Dave Torres. They filmed it. They filmed a TV series based on that whole concept. And we have yet to get any look at this. We only got that one moment where Mark fucked up during a live stream a year and a half ago, where he accidentally showed a snippet of him of Dave on an airplane. And he immediately had that look on his face like, oh, I'm in so much trouble right now. Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. But it turns out, the guys in charge were not upset. They found it pretty amusing, but it kind of got, a lot of, people talking and shit like that. So fast forward to the 17th of February, somebody went on the website that I guess that Q Code is partnered up with to distribute this show, New Regency. And on their website, under the page of distribution, when you go to international distribution, Edge of Sleep is one of those things. You click on it, it shows you what looks like a poster of the show. And it's literally Mark like this, like a red filter looking like Auntie in the in the Dark Silence video. He's like panicking and in a frantic state or whatever. And when you click on its page, you get a synopsis of what it is and shit like that. And you have Facebook, Twitter. Who uses Facebook? Like, if you click on those two links, it opens a new tab to that same place that you were just at. It doesn't have a Facebook page or Twitter page. But underneath it, it says trailer. You click on that, it takes you to a video unlisted, mind you, of what looks like a sizzle reel of the show. So it seems to me New Regency didn't think that any of Mark's fans would find this. And they left it unlisted in hopes that, people, international markets that would distribute this would look at this trailer and go, okay, maybe we want this. Okay, whatever. And another thing, too, apparently, according to the website, it's coming out this year. But then again, that might be a placeholder. So, it seems to me, in a sense, the trailer for Edge of Sleep leaked, in a sense. Because initially, people were talking about it, but then they realized, oh shit, it was leaked. And then they realized it was unlisted. So, I remember actually going to that link, and it had like around 600 views initially. But now, when I fast forward to now, at the time you're recording this, it's got over 2,500 views. I'm surprised that New Regency or Markiplier hasn't brought this, or hasn't, commented about this, or even Q Code Media for that matter. How is it that they haven't talked about this? They need to talk, they need to address this. Because we're so clamored about, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? What is there to do? Are you still waiting for a distribution deal? Are you waiting for a TV deal to get, rights to air the show or stream the show, whatever the fuck these days are? Are you waiting just for that before you make that decision to put out the trailer? Why don't you just fucking put it out? You put it out, you get people talking. Look at the Paranormal Activity movie, the first one. It wasn't released worldwide, distributed, it wasn't released, nationwide at first. It was in limited areas, limited places, limited cities. And they had a fucking campaign to say, if you want it in your area, if it's not in your area, you demand it. It fucking worked for them. And then after they hit 1 million demands, they released it nationwide and it made over nearly $200 million worldwide on a $15,000 budget. Why don't you just fucking release the trailer now? Why don't you just release the trailer, get people talking, because clearly you've got people talking when Mark accidentally leaked the one shot of the show. It got people talking, then why the fuck do you don't do anything? Do something, New Regency. Do something, Q-Code. Stop worrying about Season 2, or making a novel, a book version of it. Focus on your fucking thing right now. Focus on the show. Because you have this sitting on your fucking hard drives. I don't want this to end up like every, Batgirl and the freaking Looney Tunes movie that recently got canned. I don't want it to become a thing where people will cancel all this shit and write it off because of a tax write-off. I don't want that to happen to Edge of Sleep. Just put it out. Get people talking, and it will get every freaking, network or streaming service to look at it and go, maybe we want to do this. Maybe we want to air this. Contact us. Like, come on. Like, what's so hard? So, yeah, unfortunately, it got leaked. But, hopefully, it seems to me everybody stopped talking about it at this point. So that's a good thing. But I think something needs to be said. I think now is the time, because you haven't said a peep about it. We have been clamoring, waiting for something for it. I'm a fan of the freaking series. I love it a lot. I thought it was fascinating, the whole concept. It kind of reminded me a lot of the Invasion of Body Snatchers. It reminded me a lot of that. The whole concept of if you fall asleep, you die. Like, just that whole concept alone is just, like, fascinating to me. And I loved the acting that Mark did in that, including, the other people involved who played Linda and Mateo and Katie and everybody else. Like, I was fascinated by it. I've still yet to finish it. I haven't had time to. But I want to. But something needs to be done. Something needs to be said now. I think we have all reached our breaking point. No wonder why it got leaked. Somebody was been so deprived, waiting for something, that they had to take matters into their own hands. And they went and came across that website. On New Regency's website. You did that. This is on New Regency, because if they didn't have that trailer unlisted, this would have never happened. But they were dumb enough to do that. Unless if this was some brilliant marketing that they're doing. Unless if this was intentional. This is what the fans, if they wanted us to find it. Mark hasn't commented about it at this point, at the time of this. Q-Code hasn't said anything. Nothing. I don't know what's going on anymore. But anyways, enough of me rambling. So we still have some videos from Mark to check out. We may have a video from Ethan to check out. And there's some video from Sean. But anyways, that's really it on this reaction. I hope you guys enjoyed my tangent about how I hate AI. And my tangent about how Edge of Sleep needs to be put out there right now to get people talking. So anyways, if you like what you saw here, hit the like button, subscribe, share this video with your friends. Be sure to ring that bell to be part of the notification squad. Be sure to check out my Instagram, because I make collabs with Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, even myself. I used to enact its cosplays on there, so go check it out. And be sure to check out my Tumblr and my Discord in the description as well. So until next time, JRDL96 signing out, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.